Well, South African jazz legend Don Laka has recently launched a book titled Know Thyself. Laka dedicated more than 30 years of his life to traveling and researching about the history of Africa. Our reporter Maote Tiamoate Padi had a chat with him. Let's take a look at that.
Greetings to you, the viewers at home. My name is Tiamo Maudepadi, and today we are joined by Don Laka, that is actually one of the most famous people that has been in the music industry, and now he's an author. He goes on to tell us more about his book and how he actually got to this point to say that this book is one of the books that needs to be read, but not only by the elders, by the youth and all the people that are trying to know themselves. Don Laka, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I just want to find the part where this book has actually been one of the incredible things South Africa and Africa as a whole can actually learn from, because you went on to embark on a journey for almost 30 years to try and write this book. And I just want to find out from you, what is the one thing that this book is actually such a statement to you?
It is a very important book that answers many questions Africans have. What have we done as Africans in the contribution to human civilization? You would know, coming from this country and many other African countries also, all what we know and we've heard of is that white people have started or invented all what we call civilization. That is not true. This book actually answers those questions that I've been asking as a young child and as a grown-up. And it took me 30 years to see these things and document them, read thousands of books, and document this into one book. And this is, by the way, the first time a book on the achievements of Africans has been put together in one volume. And this volume is about the inventions, how Africans invented and contributed to the humankind civilization.
And Don, I just want to get to the point where, as you were talking earlier, you pointed out that heels and chairs and mirrors were one of those things that actually, to come to this point, there were some of the things that we actually found in South Africa, in Africa as a whole. So I just want to find out from you, what are other things that actually caught your eye in trying to put this book together and actually saying to African people that know yourselves deeper than the level that we've always been reading?
You know, most important, and what came as a shocker for me was, because we've been taught and told that when Europeans came to Africa, they were offering us mirrors for those things. And the opposite is true. That we invented a mirror thousands of years before Europe could have its own mirror. And, those are the things. And I documented in my book, you see the dates, and you see, and I have places, the names of places where you can see these things. In many universities, many museums, many places where our history has been stashed away. One guy actually calls the museums the colonizers' trophy. What is it? I don't know. There's a term that I use where they hide stuff and put your stuff there and say, we have taken this, now we put them here. They must come pay for it to see it. But most of our history is in those museums, and some of it is still here on the continent, obviously.
And okay, with the writing of the book and coming and traveling throughout the continent to try and get the message across, what is the one thing that really stands out in trying to know not only yourself as an African, but trying to also say that all the books that were written were not false? It's just that I am writing my own book at this point in time for the African people.
Many books that you would read actually is by Europeans writing about themselves. And I don't have a problem with that. The problem that one would encounter is when they start to distort things. but most of it is about themselves. But these books that Africans are writing now, today, and in this particular, this one, is about the achievements of Africans, which we have never heard of. It was never taught in any school. It is not even taught in any school up to today. And that's what we want corrected, that the new education system should adopt books like this, and they should actually be teaching this from kindergarten about the achievements of Africans. We are on the African continent and we need to know about ourselves. That's why the subtitle is called Know Thyself. And you know, talking about this, for me to get down to write it, really write it, a young publisher from Cape Town, from the city, Tsepo, was the one who saw my postings on social media, and he said, you know, you are writing a book. I said, no, I'm not writing a book. He said, whatever you've been posting is about writing a book. And that's how I was really edged to write this book.
Okay, because you were then a musician by that time, I want to understand, how does one get to be such a legend in the music industry and still say that I am an African at the end of the day, so I'm going to show you what I'm most proud of, and you should actually try and join me in the journey?
Well, I'm still a musician up to today. And the reason why I enjoy and love music is because, as I alluded earlier on, that being a musician and making a name in the music industry has allowed me to travel to places where many of you might not even have a chance or been able to visit. And I didn't have to pay for most of these visits, except those I had to, you know, but some of them I'll take an opportunity while I'm on tour to go visit those places. Or, you know, after going there, and I'll go on, you know, the second time to verify. And fortunately, as a photographer, it was actually much easier for me to, at one go, to capture all these ideas, the knowledge, and come back and start doing research and reading to verify most of the things, and so I can put these things in perspective and actually start to educate our own people out there.
And we are currently on the fourth industrial revolution, trying to engage other media, like Media Hub, to actually put on your book there and say that you're joining it. What do you think that the youth at this point in time can take on from your perspective about the industry and basically the strength that you have to have, and the people around you, how you should carry yourself, and the people that you should have to lift yourself up at the end of the day?
You know, a lot of people might be asking, why history so ancient? Let me tell you something. If it wasn't for history, we won't be here today. We're doing all this because it's informed by the past. We're rectifying the past, and the past has given us a vision to go forward. The fourth industrial revolution, Africa can take a center stage, because one of the writings in my book is that if you know you were at that level, now you are down there, there's nothing stopping you to reach that level